Hey babes, I'm Cynthia.
And I'm Beverly. Grab your favorite drink. Let's sip and chat.
Welcome to Tipsy and Truthful, the podcast.
Period.
Hey babes, welcome back to another episode of Tipsy and Truthful, the podcast where two best friends sip and chat about life, relationships, parenthood, and everything in between. I'm Beverly.
And I'm Cynthia.
And this is the start of... Our family is really weird, like birthday-wise, because it's like we're all fall babies. And then there's like the rest of us are like, everybody else is like in April.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only ones who don't fall within that are like Cairo and Jonas and Luz and Sherlyn. Literally the rest of us are all either in the fall or in April.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Fall, winter, yeah. Because November is a big month too.
Exactly. So pretty much Aaliyah's birthday was, Aaliyah's my oldest. She just turned 14.
Yeah.
Her birthday was on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So it was her birthday. And then my bestie over here, her birthday will be on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we have like cousins and nieces and nephews, and everybody's birthday starts now. My birthday comes up in November too. My other daughter's, like, it's like it starts rolling now, and it's like
it doesn't stop
fast.
until after the New Year's.
Exactly, like January.
We have a little break, and then it's yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can go right into the highs and the opportunities.
Do you have some?
I do.
Go ahead.
I mean, I have a couple highs. I have two highs. Obviously, my baby girl turning 14.
Mm-hmm.
It's like both a high and an opportunity for me. Because it's like, number one, every year, and I don't want to cry because I turn into a hot mess. Every year for any of my kids' birthdays, even for Kaivo's birthday, I always do this thing where I go through my phone and I look up old pictures of them. And I'm a hot mess because it's just so quick.
And we will talk about that in a little bit.
We'll get more into that in a little bit, but seeing her growth, I'm so proud of her.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like a moment, like a bittersweet thing, like kind of like a wake-up call of like, you need to be more present, or you need to be as present as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because soon enough, these kids are going to be going off and doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's insane to think about. Like, she was just born. I can remember everything that happened the day that she was born when I went into labor. Mm-hmm. And like, she's 14. Mm-hmm. We're already talking about her quinceañera, looking at locations, looking at dresses. Mm-hmm. It's like, what?
We literally have less than a year to prepare.
I know. What?
I know.
I'm still in awe.
Yeah.
We'll go into that more in a little bit, but my second high of the week. Yesterday, my girl started cheer. So my oldest daughter had done cheer before, like for her middle school. This is like a citywide cheer program that they joined now. And somebody saw me. I'm like still in shock. She was like, "Are you the girl from Tipsy and Truthful?" And I was like, "What? Yes." What? Like,
it's kind of surreal.
It's surreal because, like I've mentioned here before, to me, I know like Joannie listens. I know that Jessica listens. Not my sister Jessica, the other Jessica. I know that a couple people are listening, but I don't know. I guess in my head, like our audience is still an audience of like 5 people. So when somebody who I don't know and doesn't know me personally says, "I like your podcast, like I love what you guys talk about," it's just such a surreal moment.
It
really feels
it's amazing.
good.
Yeah. The same thing happened like that time that I told you that I went to drop off Cairo, and the lady's like, "I know that voice. You're from Tipsy and Truthful, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And it was the same feeling. It's just like, I can't believe. Thank you for listening, first of all.
Yes, thank you.
It's amazing that we do. You know, Beverly and I always said that this podcast is going to grow organically. That it's going to reach the people that it needs to reach.
Right.
And I'd rather it be a slow growth, but with positive impact, than it be fast and nobody cares.
Yeah.
It just means a lot more because we are putting our heart out there.
Yeah. And we're not doing this for like, of course it would be nice to one day just be full-time podcasters. But like, this is our hobby. This is fun.
It's an outlet.
It's
For
an
us?
outlet. We do this every single week. Like, this is work, guys, and we do this every single week.
But it doesn't feel like that.
No, but it is.
It is.
The fact of the matter is
Yeah.
that we have to take time. We both have busy schedules. We have to take time out of our busy schedules to record, to come up with topics, to, you know, and to sit here and be honest and vulnerable with a lot of things that we might be personally going through.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
So it's just nice. Thank you. I don't even remember her name. I was like in such shock that I don't remember her name. But thank you for coming up and for telling me that you recognize the podcast and that you enjoy it. She said that she loved that she sobbed in Freesy's episode. So
It's a good episode.
thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate it so much. Opportunity. Girl, I don't even know because I feel like a broken record.
Yeah, we know. So let's not even bring it up.
I feel like a broken record. I'm not even gonna say it. You guys, if you've heard the last few episodes,
You already know what it is.
same opportunity.
Yeah.
I won't even get into it.
I don't think you're gonna make it if you're not making time. If you're not making it like an effort to slow down.
I think, even though that's my opportunity is to slow down, I feel like there's a time clock,
I know, that's why.
and I just want, like, I have this. I'm going room by room, right? I'm trying to purge everything. I'm going room by room. I'm trying to purge everything. I'm trying to like declutter is my big thing.
I think it's your nesting, and you're nesting much sooner. We talked about this because there's baby number 5. It's a lot of babies.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of kids, and it's a lot of organizing. You have to be very intentional with your time, with the way that you organize, how you set things up, because your family is abnormally big now. And I say abnormally because for most people have maybe 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah, that's average.
But you have 5.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are very little. And one is, Jace needs also a lot of support. So I feel like you just feel like you're running out of time. And that's why you can't slow down.
That's my thing. I'm like, oh, I need to slow down. But then I'm also like, this baby's going to be here and my house is not going to be where I need it to be. I just like the back hallway has a bunch of like summer stuff that I need to, like, I have 28 lawn chairs. Why? We don't have 28 booties. We don't need 28 lawn chairs. So I need to, just scale down on a lot of the things. The problem that I have is that I have the space to hold so much crap that I'm just filling the space with crap.
Okay, hoarder.
Comfort is my thing. So like we're going to the beach. I want to have all the things that my kids are going to need to be comfortable.
But
So
you
then
don't need 28 lawn chairs, what I'm saying.
No, but if I'm at the beach and I forgot a launch chair, guess what I'm going to do? Buy one more.
I know.
Add it to the freaking collection that I have
That's what it
here.
is.
It's not like I'm going out and buying 28 at a time.
Yeah.
It makes sense in my head, guys.
I get it. But you're not going to slow down until this baby's here because then you're going to be forced to slow down.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. And I had a dream, babe, that I had this baby early.
I feel like you will.
I don't want to.
I know. But I feel like you are.
Terrified that maybe that's the thing that inspired this dream is my terror of not being ready, of the baby just coming and I'm like, I have no clothes, I don't have my emulate bottle because I want that bottle that looks like a boob.
I like that.
I really want that bottle.
Yeah,
it's 2 bottles for
it's
$50.
aesthetically beautiful to look at.
Well, it looks like a nipple. I feel like it's weird to look at.
I know. I think I like it because of that. Because I think, especially for babies, it's easy for them, that transition. I mean, I could see the reasoning behind it. Like, it makes sense.
It makes sense. For me,
I like it.
Like, so I've breastfed like the last 3 pretty much until my body was like, girl, we need to sleep a little bit more. But because I know that this is our last child, I think knowing that I have a way to breastfeed the baby so that daddy and baby can bond, that won't interfere with like the breastfeeding pattern. Because literally, if you guys, we're not even telling you guys what we're talking about. So there's a baby bottle, and it looks like a boob. It's literally shaped like a boob. You choose
the color, the nipple of the color.
You make it look like your nipples.
What did I say? The nipple of the color. The color of the nipple.
The color of the nipple, the size, how long or short the nipple is. Like, you make it as close as you can to your body. So that, But
that's kind of funny because if people know about the brand, they're going to be like, damn, that's what a boob looks like.
Like, she got some pancake.
I didn't think of that.
That's why it's weird to me, because I'm like, well, now everybody's gonna know what my nipple looks like.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's okay. I'm gonna pierce one.
She does not have a piercing. That's funny though.
Okay. Anyway, super side rant, but yeah, I was saying about the bottle. I want it to be like, I want the bottle for John more than for me,
I get it though.
because I'm a walking baby bottle. I don't need that, but I really want like the chest to chest.
Mm-hmm.
We did it with Jonas. I didn't know about this back then, but in the hospital when I did chest to chest with Jonas, I told John to take off his shirt and do it too. Y tú ves como es Jonas con su papá, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Crazy. That bonding, I feel like they don't focus enough on like the dad part of it.
I don't think that's true. I think that let's be 100% honest.
What?
The hospital around us doesn't focus on a lot of that. And I feel like that's changing. Yeah, for real. Because I see that as a norm everywhere else. And I don't want to, in other communities, it is a norm. Here, unfortunately, is not.
Is it because of our culture, or is it because of the low incomeness?
I think it's a combination of things. I think sometimes dads, not that they're not there, but they don't see the necessity or the need to do it. They don't know, they don't understand it fully. And so they're like, oh, no, you're fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm a mom and I didn't understand it fully.
I know, because we don't really get educated on it. The only reason we know about it more now is because we're on the internet more and we're reading all these articles about.
Thank you, TikTok.
Exactly. About like the importance of like skin to skin and that bonding that fathers need just as much as mothers. Babies need from both.
Yep.
I would even say as far as even with kids. I've seen it with siblings.
Oh, really?
I've seen it with siblings on TikTok,
that's
like
so sweet.
little ones, like just bonding with their brothers and sisters.
I love
it. It
that.
makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah. So.
Wow. What were we even talking about?
You an opportunity. You don't have one. Let me go to me. My high of the week was. It's kind of weird because we're recording this on a Monday, and every time we do this, like, I have to think back.
Our rhythm is like thrown off a little.
I would say it was completing my 7-day fast. I completed a 7-day fast, and
guys, water only.
Yeah, water and black coffee.
That's kudos to you, baby.
Yeah, I did that for 7 days. I'm still alive. Still kicking. I did it mostly for spiritual reasons, and obviously the byproduct of that is, you feel good too. Like there's some weight that comes off too, even though that wasn't my true intention. But it set me off on a pattern now this week to want to get back into my fasting habits, because I used to do it all the time, and I just feel like I need it. So I will be jumping back into that, fasting for extended periods of time, at least 24-hour fast or 36-hour fast.
You guys should really look into it, because fasting, Dr. Sebi talks about it all the time.
I love Dr. Sebi.
Fasting really helps your body. Like, your body needs a break.
Well, that's one of the biggest reasons. There's a word that it comes, and I always forget the dang word. Autophagy or something like that. Autophagy. It's when your cells like turn on and they become like super cells, and they basically attack all the. That was my stomach, because I'm fasting right now. They attack all the sick cells in your body and repair all the damage, like organs or whatever needs attention. But it happens around, for everyone is different. So for some people, they can get into it in 36 hours. For other people, 72. Some people even 24, depending how long they fast for. But it's amazing because your body is smart enough to repair itself, but you just need to give it time. People always, and I'm gonna bring this because my mom is a true Dominican woman, and she does not understand the concept of fasting. She's like, se van a morir, unless it's a spiritual fast. Anything outside of that, she's just like, you're gonna die. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But I want you to think of even animals. Animals, when they're hurt or wounded, they will not eat for an extended period of time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. People get worried, like, my animal's not eating. That's their way of repairing themselves of whatever damage they may have. And obviously, that doesn't always happen. That doesn't always work, and you need to go to the vet, or God forbid something else happens. But for the most part, animals shut down. They stop eating so that they could focus on whatever's hurt and repair it.
Our bodies are designed
exactly
for that. Yeah.
Exactly. So when people are like, that's not healthy. Yes, it is. It's just that mainstream, the Western society has taught us that we need to be eating every certain amount of hours. That's not true. And that's why we're here. with sicknesses and overweight and just dealing with a bunch of stuff.
Oh, don't get me started on all the crap.
That will be a different episode. I'm just giving you a quick little synopsis of, Anyways, my opportunity. I don't know what my opportunity is. Probably the same as last week. I've been really struggling with my editing. I get frustrated, so I have to walk away a lot.
For your new podcast?
Yeah, because this is hard. So that's why it's still not out, guys. But we will get there. I'm not going to give up. But when I see myself getting frustrated, I have to walk away.
I think maybe that's better.
Yeah, because I don't want to hate it, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'll come back to this. But I guess that's my opportunity, just to keep pushing through.
Okay. So, I mean, this episode is not like others where we have like a specific topic. We just kind of wanted to get on here and just chat. And the first
Sometimes we need that.
Sometimes we just need, just to chat. The first thing is, again, going back to my daughter's birthday.
What brought that conversation up? I think we were having this conversation. I was like, and I said something. You were like, yeah. And I think it was something that I saw on Facebook. Facebook or TikTok.
I don't remember.
And it was about like truly how fast our children are growing. And we will never have them at this age, at this place with us ever again.
Yeah.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks because, like, especially when we're talking about Aaliyah, who is the oldest of the bunch, just to think of, we were kids when we had her. I know. We were babies ourselves.
You said you remember getting the call from my mom. Well,
because when Beverly is a teen mom, because you had her at 20, right?
I had her at 20. Yeah. That's not a teen mom.
Well, 20. Well, I'm saying you got pregnant at 19.
I was young.
You were the youngest. You were the first one in our family to have a baby. And so it was new for everyone. And that's what I'm saying. So I was away at college and I couldn't be there. And obviously I'm Aaliyah's godmother. And I remember my aunt picking up the phone and just letting me hear her crying. And I broke down in my dorm room. So I was like, oh my God. Mind you, I was in Lobo, guys. Like down the street. But I didn't have a car at that time. So I was stuck in campus. But I remember hearing her cry and like just crying and thinking, oh my God, we have a baby in the family.
Right?
That was like surreal.
I know.
And we were so young. That's the thing. It's not only because Aaliyah has grown up. It's because
I think we all
grown up. But I want you to look at this too. Somebody the other day on Facebook, this was really on Facebook, said, guys, class of 2008, it's been 19 years since our first day in freshman year in high school. 20 for you.
That's nuts.
And I want you just to think about those moments of when we were in school and we were like, oh, I can't wait to grow up and I can't wait to do this. And now it's all here and we're like almost mid-30s.
Well, my daughter's going to start her freshman year in high school next year.
But that's crazy to me because not only is she growing up, we are too, and we're getting older. And even though that is a blessing, it's scary in a lot of ways because I feel like I just finished high school. What are you talking about? What do you mean I'm 35?
What's scary about it to you?
It's just scary because, and this goes back to conversations that we've had in the past about like you looking at your life of where you're standing now. And I obviously have to fight with this all the time. And I know most of us do. And look at where you have come from, but still where you have to go. Yeah. And that looking back and looking forward when you're standing here is sometimes a lot. And so you have to remind yourself like you've done great and you've done all the things that you're supposed to. And we still got work to do. But that's still that feeling of like, am I ever going to get to do all these things that I have planned out for my life and for my children's life? Am I gonna get to that?
Oh, what's it gonna look like? Yeah, I think this for me I guess I don't think about that as scary. I think about that like for me that's exciting. Like the opportunity of like where we're gonna be in a year, we're gonna be in 5 years. The scary part for me is knowing that we're gonna lose our parents, our aunts.
I know. I didn't even touch on that.
That's the scary part because I know that as I get older, that means my mom's going to be 58 next year.
She's 65.
Yeah. And yeah, that's young. Now that I'm in my 30s, that's young. 57, that's young. But if you would have said 57 when I was like 15, I would have been like, no, doña. R.I.P. doña. Like,
I know.
But that's the scary part.
I think my parents, it's so crazy because for a long time, for recently, I've been thinking a lot about this.
Really?
I don't know why. And I think it's because, like you said, thinking about losing your parents is very difficult. But for me, I think about my grandma's death a lot.
Mm.
And I think about what that experience did to her children, how beautiful of an experience it actually was. And not a lot of people have that. You know
Do
what I'm
you
saying?
want to like say a little bit about it?
Well, my grandma, my mom's mother, my mom comes from a very close family. And something that I think a lot of people appreciate is how they stick together through absolutely everything. They still do family reunions and still go away and still do a lot of fun things as a family. And when I'm telling you my family's huge, from my mom's side, they're humongous. Like my mom is one of 9 sisters, 4 brothers. Like it's a big family, and the amount of cousins and aunts, I mean cousins that I have and cousins that I have is ridiculous. And they still manage to once or twice a year go away, like to a mountain and like just, be the family, be loud.
Goals.
I know. And so when my grandmother was passing, my mom, the only ones that weren't there was my sister and I and another aunt of mine, but everybody else was able to be there with my grandmother in the maternal house where most of them were born.
Oh,
It's I don't think that happens all the time, but I think it was beautiful because everybody knew that her time was coming and everybody was there with her and they sang all her favorite songs and they held hands and it was just so peaceful. And she left with all her grandchildren. I mean, with the exception of the best one, me and my sister, we weren't able to make it, but my mom was able to make it, and that's important for me.
Yeah.
That gives me peace. Even my dad flew out because my dad was like her adopted child,
Aw.
and my dad was able to be there too, and they all got to sing her farewell.
What stood out when you told me this a million years ago? What stood out to me was that there was like a calmness.
Yes.
In the family.
Yes.
Like anybody who's Dominican knows, if you've been to a funeral in Dominican Republic, it's scary. Like the first funeral that I went to in DR was probably like 12, 11. And it's like llantos, like screaming.
Yeah. Weepers.
It's terrifying
like
for a child.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never been to a lot of funerals in my life, but even looking at the pictures and looking at videos and hearing it was like surreal for me because I was like, wow, the amount of peace that was there. And I think part of the reason for that is because my family, like I said, in life, my from my mom's side, everybody believes that you have to do everything you have to give people their flowers while they're here. You need to love them and take care of them and tell them how much you love them while you're here. It's not after they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because in reality, once you're gone, you're gone.
Right.
And so my family, with my grandmother, everything she wanted, anything she said that she wanted, everybody was there. Like, Mama, ¿qué usted quiere?
Mm-hmm.
Like she would say, oh, yo quiero jaiba. And they would bring her dozens of like jaibas. And they just always made it a point to make sure that they were there playing with her and telling her how much they love her. That's why it was okay. Mm-hmm. It was like we did everything for our grandmother. We told her how much we loved her. We've always respected her. She's the what's the word? The matriarch of our family. Like this is how we're gonna send her off to God.
Wow.
And so they were able to sing all her favorite like hymns and see her take her last breath.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And so I feel like when I think of that, I think of my mom too, that same way. Because my mom is peace. Mm-hmm. You know, my mom is such a peaceful person that I see the same thing happen, not only for my mom, for my aunts, because they're all the same way. They're just like that, you know? So, and my mom talks about death like it's normal. So she's been preparing me for years.
Well, that makes me want to like work on my relationship with my parents because, you know, if God forbid something happened to my mom today, I would have a lot of conversations that I wish I have had. You know, same with my dad.
Oh, same with like, and that's something that I have with my mom and something that I'm actively working with my dad. Because once again, with my dad, like I love my father to death, but you know, there's always been like I think we're in a different place now because I realize since the inception of of our podcast, I have made it a point to be like, I really need to just forgive. He's my father, and I don't want to hold any ill will against my father. And I truly do love my dad. It's not like I don't. Were there situations in our life that I'm like,
Yeah, that's where my challenge is.
Yeah.
Is of course I love my mom, of course I love my dad, but looking at situations and wishing that things would have been done differently, I find myself getting stuck in that. You know, but I have to work. That's a me problem because I can't be stuck on what hasn't happened or what I wish would have happened. Like,
for sure.
you know, that's not helpful either. And I'm hoping to find a good therapist to help me, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I just need to work through myself so that I can find the right words to have these conversations with my parents.
Yeah.
Because I can feel that there's something there bothering.
You just don't know what it is.
And I can't put my finger on it to be like, listen, Mom, we got to talk about X, Y, and Z. Or, you know, when this happened, I felt this way. Like, there's things that I just know felt wrong, but I can't figure out, like, the right words. You know, so
You haven't figured out that broken file.
I gotta find that. I
definitely.
file.
I think that a couple months ago when we had the episode on parents, I came to realize what my broken file was with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the lack of just the lack of him understanding and seeing my point of view, and him like being there. Like the way that I needed him, because he was there. My dad was always physically there.
Present, right.
But my dad has had a lot of challenges in his life, and I think and that's why I give my dad grace too, because I know that his upbringing was very tough. But I felt like his love was conditional when he was going through situations, and that made it tough for me. You know, like, not that he didn't love me, but there was times that, and looking at it, like, I get it. Sometimes you got to be selfish to try to work yourself through some problems. But at the same time, when you're a child, you don't understand that.
No.
I look at it differently now. And I think that's why I'm like,
you have more grace and understanding.
And I never, and going back to like death, I never want to look back and be like, Dad, I never told you this. I've made it a point to, not only to my dad, with a lot of people, to be like, I feel this way. I'm just not carrying that anymore. I can't. It made me feel heavy and it made me sick. It gave me a lot of anxiety. I'm not doing that anymore.
Good for you, babe. We had another conversation we wanted to talk about.
That one spiraled out of control.
Yeah. I don't remember. What else? Well, what I wanted to say about this whole, you know, Alia's 14th birthday thing is that I think I mentioned this in the beginning, is knowing that, you know, our kids are growing so fast. I want to make sure that I'm present enough. I find myself on my phone for longer than I want, you know, and they're like, Mommy, did you hear me? And I'm like, on TikTok, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, that's something I can change. Like,
I get it 100%. That's the reason why I did my spiritual fast too. It was because I was spending a lot of time on my phone, and even Carol was like, "You're always on your phone."
They'll call you out.
Oh no, and you know, I get it. TikTok is very addictive. It's very distracting. And even if we were doing stuff for the podcast, like, I would find myself like, then, I was done that, but then I would like start looking at other videos, and it's like a black hole. And so definitely, that was another reason for my spiritual fast. Like, not only did I want to spend more time, you know, with God, I needed to get away from my phone. So I gave myself time limits.
I think I'm gonna start giving myself time limits, especially when the kids are with me. It's hard, like, with the business. I'm always like checking my email, seeing if anything comes through.
But that's the exception. That you can still do that. The problem is that we're on the phone,
exactly,
and we jumped into
and then
TikTok.
I'm like, well, let me see. I have a notification on Instagram. They have me, and
that's
then it turns into 30 minutes. And I need to, because for my girls, they don't tell me you're always on the phone. But when they're trying to tell me something and I'm distracted, they get an attitude with me. Like, that's how they tell me, like, pay attention.
Exactly.
And, you know,
and they're in their
I have
right.
to, like, snap out. Of course they're in their right. I have to snap out of it and say, I'm sorry, baby, put my phone down. I'm sorry, baby, go ahead. You know?
That's why in my house, like, we try to have, like, movie dates. Like, you do that too with the girls.
Yeah.
We make it a point to, like, watch a movie a week, all of us. Or, like, snuggle in the bed, all of us. You know?
It's getting harder to do that. with Jonas.
Well, yes.
So Jace has his like routine bedtime. So once he's in bed, we can just quietly watch a movie. But if both boys are awake,
It's over. It's a wrap.
impossibility. We would be like hearing the boys fighting with each
Yeah.
other instead.
Yeah, and since Cairo is just Cairo, like we will snuggle in bed and just watch TV, or we'll start playing, or we'll watch TikToks together. He loves to watch TikToks with me, like especially when it comes to food. We need to find a dumpling place because
Oh my goodness. Did you get those Trader Joe's dumplings yet?
not yet, but he's obsessed.
We need to,
And he's like, we need to
try
go to a
those.
restaurant and get some dumplings.
Some soup dumplings.
Yeah, I need to find some.
We need to, for
Well, I
real.
actually found the place in Lowell, so
Okay, well, if any listener knows about any place that makes some good soup dumplings.
yes. But I need some seafood ones because that's the thing. Most of them are pork or chicken,
Oh,
and for me, I can't have that, and I want to taste them too.
yeah.
So we'll see.
Anyway, so yeah,
So being more present.
being more present.
Because time
we
is
used to have
flying.
game nights.
Yeah. You saw the game I sent you with the little rocking thing that.
Babe, I haven't checked any. I probably have like 78.
No, you said I'm
messages.
gonna get this.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
with the stacking thing. Yes, that looks like fun.
Yeah, that's something that
That's something we could do, like a family game night type of game. So,
it's just finding those moments because guys, I'm being like I don't think we really realize how fast time is going, and how fast our kids are not going to be living home with us, and we're gonna be empty nesters before we know it.
I know.
And that's time for you to work on your relationship with your kids, making sure you're making memories and spending time with them. But also, I'm gonna just insert there with your spouse because our kids are gonna leave, and we're gonna be stuck with people we don't like.
I feel attacked. You just told me this like this week
What?
that you've noticed that ever since I basically from Jace forward that me and my partner were like best friends. And like because we have so much going on with a child with special needs,
A business,
and a business,
other kids,
2 older kids, a 2-year-old, and now a baby. We really, him and I both have to be a lot more intentional on taking time out for us, which I've explained to you a million times. It's really hard to do without a babysitter.
I know.
But, and he will, and I feel bad because he'll be like at the end of the night, like, oh, babe, let's watch a movie. I've picked out this movie for us to watch. And I'm like, yeah. 5 minutes in, I'm knocked out because I'm just spent.
I just think that there needs to be like better communication about like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna split it up so that we're able to watch those movies.
That's what
Because
we can do.
I feel like
on.
it's not only you; it's a lot of people. Like making time intentional, and most of the time, if you really realize it, all of us are in our phones. Everybody's like sitting next to each other, but on their phones, not really talking.
Yeah,
and that's a problem. Because guys, we're gonna get older, and we're not gonna know who we're with.
We're gonna be strangers. That's not what I want.
I know.
I want to go back to being best friends. We'll work on that.
Yeah. That's an opportunity.
What, babe? That was a second conversation that we were. Oh, the family thing.
Oh, communication and secrecy. Ugh.
Yeah.
So there was this. I'm not gonna get too much into it because obviously, but
well, it doesn't. You don't have to say who it is. It was a friend.
Yeah, it was a friend. Oh, we have to talk about that too.
What?
About our friend and how we got with our friend. Let's talk about that first.
Okay. So a few episodes back,
like 2 episodes ago,
we had an episode about a friend that we had that we were concerned with. We talked about like how heartbreak can change a person, and that we wanted to get together with this friend and like really talk about it. And we had the opportunity to do that. How do you think it went?
Great.
Yeah.
I think that for sure there's still some work that needs to be done, but she realized that. She even said it. She's like, I gotta keep working on it. I think she's in a better place. I'm happy because she looks like she's very happy.
She does.
She looks like she's at peace. And that was my concern when we were talking about the situation.
Yeah.
She just looks like she's in a better place. Mentally, emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
She's glowing.
We told her like it sounds like she was going like giving us a run by run, like an update, and we were like, all of this sounds great. It still sounds like you have a lot of walls that are up, and it sounds
which I understand,
to a certain degree. But if your partner is really trying,
I know, and that's what we told her. I'm like, that's great and all, but like, you need to give in a little bit,
right?
You need to like meet him where he's
Meet
meeting
him
you.
in the middle, at least, right?
Meeting him exactly where he's meeting you at. Because a person could be walking towards you 2 feet, but you're backing up 2 feet. Like, so, I'm glad that we were able to just chill. We spent the whole morning together.
We did. It was supposed to be like a quick breakfast.
It was not.
It was 4 or 5 hours later.
Yeah,
We're still
9:30
talking.
to like 1:30, 2 o'clock. It
Yeah,
was a long day.
it was a long day.
And we said that we were gonna, because a couple years ago we said we were gonna see each other monthly,
At
like
least
as a
once a
mom,
month.
like a mom's kind of thing. Like we go out to dinner without the kids,
Mm-hmm.
because it's that when we go out with the kids, we cannot talk
At all.
we can't spend time because the kids are crying.
Someone's fighting. Someone
Yeah.
needs this. Someone.
So we made it a point to just for it to be us, but we've slacked on that. And I think it's because most of us all of us, were going through a lot of our own situations. And so it made it impossible. And even when we had the time, we didn't have the energy or the mental capacity to be like facing people you love that know you when you're troubled.
Yeah,
Because then you have to explain, and that makes it even more uncomfortable.
it's uncomfortable because you know that they know something's off.
Yeah.
I mean, did I say that backwards?
Yeah. No. You said it
Okay.
right.
And sometimes you don't want to talk about it, but they can feel it.
But they can
know
feel it,
you.
and because exactly, that's the thing, they know you.
Yeah.
And like eventually you'll end up spilling the beans,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was nice to like just be with each other and talk and laugh.
And checklist. We said we were gonna,
We said Mondays is
week.
gonna be our new.
No. That week
Oh.
that we recorded that podcast, we said our opportunity was we needed to
Oh yeah,
speak to this
we
friend,
stuck to it.
and we did. So check. Kudos. Pat on the back.
Yeah.
And yeah, we said we were gonna try to get together like at least every other Monday or something.
Yeah, something like that for coffee or just chit chat,
Mm-hmm.
just to be around other females.
Exactly.
We need it.
We do.
Mhm.
We do.
Yeah.
So the other situation with your friend and the family member.
Yeah. Well, this situation is, I think it comes up a lot in families. Secrecy. Let's just talk about secrecy in family.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I can talk about it in our culture because I feel like that's
Go ahead.
what I know.
Mhm.
We were I think secrecy is like a blanketed term, like a blanketed way of like, oh, well, I'm gonna show you respect, or I'm not gonna offend you, so I'll just keep it a secret, and that's not the right way. Like I know people who are like, oh, my mom annoyed me, she did X, Y, and Z. I won't tell her because she'll get mad. Okay, I won't tell her because she won't understand. I won't tell that.
Or
doesn't-
even worse than that. Like, let's say, like family drama is a huge secrecy kind of. I've heard this trigger warning. I've heard this with like when there's pedos in the family.
Yeah,
Hiding that.
and they hide it.
I know, and it's like la gente lo tiene que saber, and it's like, sir, we gotta air this out because this is everybody else's safety.
Right.
What are we doing here?
There's a fear of being judged as a family. Like,
There's
how is
just
this
the
going to
stigma.
reflect on
Yeah.
the rest of us?
Mhm.
And it's like
That
each
shouldn't be the concern.
Each individual person is making their own choices.
Mhm.
Okay,
It's their responsibility.
right. We don't all have to take on that you made a bad choice.
Yeah.
But I don't think, especially with something like that, we don't have to hide. We should not be hiding it, because what if I don't know that weird uncle actually, put his hands on somebody, and I'm bringing my kids around them. I need to know. I need to know for my kids' safety.
But that's what I'm saying. And it's always secrecy with stuff like that, secrecy with money and family property. So that's the reason why this conversation came about, because bomb, we found out like that this family house was sold behind other people's backs. So
Family
one
members.
sibling sold it, helped the father sell it. The father didn't even want to sell it. Basically convinced and coerced the father to sell it. Didn't tell any of the brothers.
My goodness.
So she took all the money.
That's so wrong.
And it's not even the money, it's the principle.
Right.
Because they didn't even care about the money. They were like, why wouldn't you tell us?
Because this is a thing. If they would have discussed it as, siblings,
They would have said no.
They would have said, well, our father's older. He needs security. This is his only asset. So if he's selling it, is he going to do something with that money that makes sense for his future, for when he needs to retire, for if he gets sick, for in case of an emergency, nada.
It's all gone. And that, it just, but it made me go through that like wormhole of like situations that people sometimes are in with these family secrets, money and property. I mean, and going back to the culture, I think we see it a lot. That's the only one. It happens probably everywhere else, but I'm saying this is something we see often. People fighting over material things.
Inheritances and like
your parents are alive and well.
Yeah. That's sad.
It is sad.
I could never see me and my siblings doing that.
I said the same thing.
Ever.
I said the same thing.
I think all of us would be the same. Like, no, you keep it. No, you do it. Just
and not even. I don't think my brothers and sisters, because I know that there is a will in place for my brothers and sisters and I. But I know my brothers and sisters well enough to know that we will all say the same thing, even if one of us is not there.
Yeah.
They're like, well,
fair to be fair. Exactly.
Everybody gets 25%. Makes total sense.
There's 4 of you.
Yes. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like,
no, because I took care of my mom more. No, because I'm the oldest. No, because I'm the boy.
And honestly, I have all the paperwork for everything. And it's not because they're less trustworthy. They just know I'm gonna.
Yeah.
They just know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will get to it the way that my parents. I'm very big on that. So, and I not that my brothers and sisters wouldn't. I just know they would, but. When I hear about other situations with other family members, I'm just like, I don't understand.
Can't relate.
I can't. I can't, because I'm not even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I didn't even want that to even happen.
Remember when we had that where am I the jerk about the siblings fighting over the dad's inheritance and he's still alive?
Sick.
Like, yeah, but he got sick that one time. He's not like a sick person.
I know that. But like, instead of worrying about his health, they were worrying about
an inheritance. That's nuts.
Despicable.
That is nuts. God, let us raise children who would never put money over their parents' well-being.
Oh my goodness. I teach, you know how simple ways that I teach my son this? Cairo is 7, but he's going on 17. And he's into fashion. And he's into fashion because his dad is into fashion. He loves clothes. He loves shoes. He likes to look nice. I can't buy him stuff without him being there now. It's like, I thought this started at 14. No, this started at 7.
He wants a specific cologne and like specific sneakers.
Like, my goodness. Yeah.
It's cute.
It's cute, but it's a headache. But most of the time, like, we get into arguments, like if we're going to church. Because I'm like, okay, how about this? He's like, no. And then he gets upset. He's like, I have nothing to wear. And I always stop him. I was like, you have plenty to wear. You have plenty to wear. So I never want to hear you say that you don't have anything to wear, because having nothing to wear is having to wear the same outfit everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mom, that's not what I meant. I'm like, and I get that. But I'm just bringing that to your attention, that I don't want those words coming out of you.
Yeah.
Because you have plenty.
If you have school clothes, church clothes, weekend clothes,
you have
sports
plenty.
Clothes, then you have clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Good. And I bring it up to his attention. I'm like, I never want to hear you say that.
Good for you. I haven't done that.
Oh, no.
Like caught it right in the moment?
Oh, no. I'm good at catching things in the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, no, this is a teachable moment. That I'm always, because he's so young and he needs examples. That's why I think my brain is always like.
Calculating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I just never want him to go around life like saying, poor me, when you are so blessed.
I know.
What? You are blessed.
You know, we had a conversation about the girls and their cell phones. I remember I told you that the one of their friends, they couldn't find her and she doesn't have a phone. And the girls were like, so like, wait, but like, she should just have a phone. And I had to like stop. That was my teachable moment. Like, you guys each have a cell phone for safety reasons. I got you both a phone and it was a lot of sacrifice and it's not cheap. Okay. And I had to like tell them, like, this is how much your phone costs every month. Okay, that's a privilege and not everybody can afford it.
We didn't even have that.
I had to buy.
My first phone, I had it in freshman year and I had to beg up the wazoo for my dad to get me the dang phone.
I was 14. My aunt got me a phone in her name and I paid for my line. My parents never paid for a cell phone for me.
My dad got me a phone, but I had to beg. I used to cry. I'd be like, how about if they steal me? I would give him examples all the time.
I remember your cell phone.
Oh, the little light.
Babe, do you have the same number? You always had the same number, huh?
This one, no. I had a different number first, and then from that number, I went to this same number that I have now.
I feel like you and Evelyn have had the same phone number for
I've
life.
had it for more than 15 years.
Wow, that's nuts. Yeah. But anyway, I had to sit them down, and they're like, you know, they're in that teenager, like, here we go, another sermon. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, listen, I had to pay for my phone. Mm-hmm. Okay. And phones back then didn't do all the stuff that your phone did.
No,
I had a
we could
phone.
only talk free after 9.
I had Verizon. I had the free phone.
We only had 100 messages a month.
I told them that I had 100 messages.
That's
and
it.
If I went over that, it was an arm and a leg, and I never went out to go over that because it was under your aunt's name. So, under my aunt's name, I mean. So I think the fact that they didn't realize the huge privilege that having a cell phone was, because now
it's so normal.
Nowadays, so many little kids have a phone.
And that's why we have to teach it in those moments.
That they think that is just a given. Like, of course I'm going to have a phone. Every other kid has a phone. No, sir.
I tell him, listen, anytime me and Cairo go out, because now I'm like, I seen this TikTok about this lady talking about, we got McDonald's money, we got Pizza Hut money, we got school store money, we got all
NSYNC ticket
money. We got all the monies, right? Because we're adults now. But I think about all the time about my parents. Like, I would only have takeouts on Fridays or Saturdays, if that, right? It wasn't. Now is a privilege to be like, I don't feel like cooking. We're gonna stop over here, and that's gonna be dinner.
Pizza. Let's get
exactly.
Let's get
But when I think about that wasn't a luxury that I had growing up.
Nope.
And I tell this to Cairo. I'm like, do you know how lucky you are? Mommy had to wait sometimes even 2 weeks. Like, if we wanted Brothers Pizza, or if we wanted Burger King, or we wanted McDonald's, because it was expensive.
And we had to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
Like, hey, for us it was Friday nights. And we would
for
have
us too.
Usually it was Chinese food, because we all love Chinese food.
My dad.
So we had our Peking Garden Friday nights, but if we didn't have that, we would on Saturday go to McDonald's. We can do both.
Yeah.
It would be like,
well, that's what I'm saying. It was either a Friday or a Saturday, and maybe a Sunday. Like, if we got a Friday, my dad and we got out of church, and we got home from church, and you know, church is when we were growing up, it was an all day thing. Oh my goodness,
it was the entire day.
Exactly. Well, because it didn't finish at church. We would, after that, my mom decides, while we're dressed in church clothes, let's go to Market Basket, because that's the smartest thing to do.
We always went together too.
Yeah. Right after church, right there.
With our frou-frou dresses and our rolled over socks.
Yes.
What are those socks that have like the frou-frou?
I don't know, but they were very frou-frou-y, and we're there walking around. But it wasn't only us. It was a bunch of other families dressed in the nines, in their Sunday's best.
On the Essex Street
in the Essex Street Market Basket, buying their food. And that's what I'm saying. And so, like, since it was an all-day thing, my dad sometimes on Sundays would be like, it's 4:00. We're going to order something, you know? But my dad, with the exception of a lot of people, like, my dad had a 6-figure paying job because he always worked. He just didn't know how to handle it. But my dad always made good money, and that was the reason there was times that we can go Friday or Sunday, or, you know.
Yeah.
My dad always made it a point like that.
Now we would come home and have cereal after church, or Chef Boyardee's.
Yeah. Well, there was once I go, you have a big family, but you also come from a big family.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. In my house, it was
one income. Most of the time we had a one income family, which
is craziness to me.
I know.
Craziness. Wow, when you really put that in perspective,
right?
That's a lot.
Think about it.
No, because for me, my parents had a mortgage. They didn't have car payments because they didn't believe in that. But we had a mortgage, and they had all these other bills. So I understood and then we had a home in DR. So I could see where the money was going all the time. It wasn't like we had
Baby, you guys were rich.
If we weren't rich.
No, you're saying all these things. Compared to us, you guys were rich. You had a house in DR. You had a house here. My mom still has never owned a home. Well, now her and her husband bought a house in DR.
I don't like the word rich. I was blessed. My parents were blessed.
Yeah.
My parents were able to buy that house.
You guys were rich.
I think my mom and my dad, the thing is that they got together, and my dad has been working construction since I was a baby. I want to say 2 years old, he got into construction. He still works construction to this day, and I'm 30, almost 34. My dad has always, and those jobs, even back then, paid well. Like, can you imagine now? I mean, inflation and stuff, but still, they paid well. And so my parents bought our house, and I'll never forget those numbers, because remember, I was my parents' accountant and project
attorney, project manager.
I was everything. So I remember in 1997, they bought this house for $90,000.
No way.
A 3-family.
The one on Maple Street?
Yes, that was a $90,000 home.
A huge home.
Yeah, 4 bedrooms, 3-floor family home. We had a backyard. It was a really nice area street. I was around all of our elementary. It's still there to this day. So the people that we sold it to, the guy still lives there.
Wow.
And I could only imagine what the house is worth now. $90,000.
I'm gonna Zillow it after this.
Yeah, we should Zillow it. But so my parents were able to, obviously, they had saved money and they were able to get some sort of like down payment assistance. They were able to do these things, but we still didn't have a lot of money.
No, I mean,
I think they had more expenses. There was money coming in, but there was so much expenses that you didn't see.
Right.
You know, we still had times where we struggled.
Of course.
You know, a lot.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying y'all were like rich, but like you're. Okay, so I'm saying like your parents had like properties and stuff,
yeah,
and we never did.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I can see.
I never like put 2 and 2 together. Like they got you a cell phone. They paid the monthly bill. I never had that either. None of us did. Maybe my little ones did. I don't know, but.
I got my first car.
Yeah, I never.
Even though it was a Ford Explorer Green, 1993. Look it up. Horrible car. But I had a car.
Listen, it broke down. You had did you hit it with the thing all
Every
the time? Was it a hammer that you had in the?
If some of my friends from high school are hearing this, they know because they were with me plenty of times when the car would break down. I'd be like, I got it, guys, with the hammer hitting the battery, and it would turn on. I don't understand. But it's just those things that I'm just like. I've been blessed in my life, and I want to make sure that no matter the struggles that I've been through and no matter the things that I still have to overcome, when I look at my life as a whole, I'm blessed.
Period.
You know?
Me too.
And I want to reiterate that to my son. I don't want him to grow up thinking, oh, this is easy or whatever. You are privileged. You're lucky and you're blessed.
Right. Period.
And you're going to earn it. He earns it now. So
this has been a rant of a conversation.
Yeah, but it's just sometimes necessary conversation.
Oh, wait, we can go on a whole nother side rant about how, your parents bought that house for $90,000. That same house now has to be easy $750.
Probably, I would say even more.
You think?
Because the area, it's such a nice street. All the houses in that street are nice houses. And it's quiet. And you have 3 elementary schools. You have Dunkin' Donuts in the corner. Get out of here. A liquor store in the corner. That we used to walk to
we used
get
to walk
chips.
to the liquor store. Thinking about a little bit about everything, I wouldn't let my girls walk to no liquor store to get chips.
I know.
What the heck is wrong with us?
I don't know. And I would go multiple times a day because
I know.
Because my parents they also had calling cards there. So I would have remember the calling cards, guys?
Yep, the struggle.
My parents are like, "Ay, come una tarjeta que tengo que llamar a tu tía." So I would be running.
$2 boss cards.
Yes, I would be. There was always a new one. Remember?
Yeah.
Esa no es buena. Esa no da mucho minuto. Grab this
one. The new one
that
gives more minutes.
Yeah, Boss Revolution, all of them. But I would run to the corner store, get the $2 calling card, get chips, get juice in a liquor store.
What's it called? The little juices, lo gordito. What are they called?
I don't know, but what were we doing?
I don't know. Well, times were different, but also like people are in the liquor store getting liquor, and we're over here like
getting chips.
Two little colitas cagadas. Wow.
Good times. Anyways.
Memories. We should have a memory lane episode.
We haven't had one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I have an idea. Just got an idea on the spot. Have our memory lane episode on a live. So that people can tell us their like memory lane
that would be fun.
Experiences, right?
We've been meaning to go live and have like a convo kind of episode that we record kind of. I'm not sure.
That would be a good one. I would love to hear other people's like
or people's stories about me. Like call in if you have a memory or a story about one of us.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Huh. Well, let us know if you guys are interested. Anyways, babes.
I don't have a nugget because we just talked a bunch of that was just all nuggets.
Yeah, just randomness. Well, babes, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Yes.
We Hope to have more guests coming on soon.
Yeah.
And
We don't have any lined up though.
No, none lined up, but if you guys think of anyone, let us know too. You can hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, email, tipsyandtruthful@gmail.com.
I want to plug in here that we haven't gotten any
Dear Cynthia's. Come on, guys.
We're going to have to like make a post and be like, hey, leave your questions here or something.
I'm going to beg.
Man, I'm missing
beg.
those really, really badly. But anyways, on that note, thank you for not getting tipsy with us.
But still keeping it truthful.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on Instagram at Tipsy and Truthful Podcast.
And TikTok at Tipsy and Truthful. See you next week.
Love you, babes.